That's why there's that viral video of the young girl being like, I actually don't know what we're protesting.
Yep.
And what would you say is the main goal with tonight's protest?
I think the goal is just showing our support for Palestine and demanding that NYU stops. I honestly don't know all of what NYU's doing.
Is there something that NYU's doing?
I really don't know. I'm pretty sure they're... Do you know what NYU's doing? About what? About Israel. Why are we protesting here?
Palestine will be free!
I wish I was more educated.
No,
There's people... There's always going to be people like that, but I'm not seeing that here. I think it's pretty focused and pretty clear.
you're absolutely right. You mentioned it doesn't have to be a large percentage of the population, just 0.1% or whatever. And that's absolutely right. I mean, or even 0.1% can be the people protesting. You just have to get a significant enough percentage of people to decide that they're unhappy with life enough to go out and start yelling in the streets. And then the most organized group within that faction always ends up taking over.
I think what you have here quite a bit is there's an element of the right now that has gone very, very anti-Israel. And so the left is now seeing an opportunity, an attack vector where they would face limited criticism. You look at the Daily Wire, and I don't know exactly what Ben Shapiro said about it. Some people have accused him, someone super chatted us saying, Ben said if you're an isolationist and you don't America first and don't support Israel, you're anti-Semitic. It doesn't sound like something Ben would say, but it kind of could be something, maybe it's misconstrued, I don't know. But we know that the Daily Wire is of course, for obvious reasons, very pro-Israel. But you have...
Okay. He hasn't talked. I haven't heard him talk about this in a while. I haven't listened to every second of every show. Ooh, this is not good. For what are the obvious reasons that they're pro-Israel? I mean, we have to unpack that because they purport themselves to be a Christian. Well, at least Jeremy Boring, Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles, Andrew Klavan. What is it? Ben Shapiro. They're billion-dollar owners. Is it the Wilkins brothers? I believe the Wilkins brothers. It was Ferris Wilkins, and I think they're brothers. They are purportedly Christian too, so it's not obvious. Not really to everyone. I know that.
On the right now, many people who are critical of wokeness, critical of DEI, and a lot of them are posting like hardcore anti-Israel content. So these
that would be me. I'm not a fan of the country over there. Not at all. Stay the hell out of our business. Stay the hell away from buying off my politicians. And we could be cool. Or, you know what? You could, as a foreign country, be like, I've got my agenda. This, whatever, foreign country X, I've got my agenda. I want to buy off your politicians, but I don't want to piss you off. So you care about the First Amendment? Okay. Oh, here's a quid pro quo. Doesn't even have to be on paper. I'll support trying to get you First Amendment rights on these social media companies. Obviously, it wouldn't work here, but just hypothetically, you care about something I care about, First and Second Amendment. We'll do lobbying for you to support an original interpretation of the Second Amendment. We'll do lobbying for you for Section 230 reform and to make sure that you have First Amendment rights on these big tech platforms. And you let us kind of buy off your politicians so when we need to unlive innocent people over there, that we can go ahead and do it. How's that? I'll think about it. I'm not here for a moral argument. I don't care about none of the sand people over there. You have done nothing for me other than spy on me. Hi to my Mossad agent. How are you doing today? You've done nothing to spy on me, demonize me, go against every single position that I like and corrupt my politicians. Why would I like your government?
leftists are now thinking, look, if we take this issue and we go and protest, we will have limited pushback from the right on this one. And I think they're right. I think there's like half of the right that is critical of Israel, doesn't want to be involved with Israel, and is not going to push back. In fact, when Greg Abbott said he was arresting these people for anti-Semitism, many people on the right were just like, that's hate speech. Are you nuts? Let him protest.
Yeah, myself
when
included.
I was driving in.
Yeah, but you don't agree with that, Tim? Tim's struggling with this topic, man. And if you didn't hear what I did a segment on my other channel on the Ben Shapiro stuff that he was talking about. You got to go listen to it, man. It's pretty cringe. And it's awkward because I think there's something behind the scenes with Daily Wire and Tim Pool. They've already worked together. There's nothing secretive there. But I think there could be something new. Who knows? And what Daily Wire does is they are Zionist. And what I mean by that is it's a completely opinion type of thing, just like calling somebody a libertarian. Some people say, I'm not a libertarian. I say, I'm not. I never said I was, I know what the definition is. To me, a Zionist is somebody who puts the protection of Israel above any other topic. That's it. That's what it means. And Daily Wire, for whatever reason, it's not obvious, Tim. For whatever reason, they are overtly just they are avid, rabid Zionists. And for whatever reason, that's what they are. And they would buddy up with a Tim Pool to control market space in this alt media world. They would love to get Tim Pool and Steven Crowder, but they fell out. And make sure that Tim Pool's under their belt. So everybody, Tim Pool and everybody under Tim Pool, they're not rabid Zionists, but they're like Matt Walsh. They know where the limits are, and they never cross that line.
Tonight I was listening to NPR, and they were talking about how cultural Marxism is actually rooted in anti-Semitism because it's against like the Jewish academics that came up with the concepts behind it. Like the idea that this is the label that they're going to pin to sort of turn the tides is very strange to me. And I think ultimately with these students, some of them, really strongly believe these things on either side. They're very pro-Palestine or whatever. Like, they're affected by, fears of anti-Semitism. But my concern is that as we go into the summer, as these schools lets out, it could make them die off because the students have to scatter, or it could make the epicenters. You're starting to see these maps pop up, like Vanderbilt has an encampment. I think it's University of Minnesota has an encampment where all the other students in the area are like, this is what I'm going to do this summer. And the encampments become more serious. I mean, we're at this point where it could sort of go either way, but we know that this movement is spreading throughout the country.
So this is the Wikipedia entry for cultural Marxism. It says cultural Marxism conspiracy theory. That's funny. And it says it's a far-right anti-Semitic conspiracy theory that misrepresents the Frankfurt School as being responsible for modern progressive movements, identity politics, and political correctness. The conspiracy theory posits that there is an ongoing and intentional academic and intellectual effort to subvert Western society via a planned culture war that undermines supposed Christian values of traditionalist conservatism and seeks to...
I'm going to stop this. Going back to what Tim said a little bit ago. He doesn't understand where he says people on the right, which I don't even think it is that. It's people who are America first, like truly believe in America first. That's why it's not even really anti-Israel. It's more, I'm America first, and everyone, Qatar, Israel, China, it doesn't matter. But for whatever reason, Israel's obviously big in the news right now, but for whatever reason, Israel just has a little more bite to their punch here than the other countries. I don't even talk about China anymore. I'm not going to until we take care of that problem.
Replace them with culturally liberal values. I actually agree that's a conspiracy theory because I don't think that the woke left really do want to replace conservatism with woke liberal values or anything like that. I think they're literally just burning things.
Middle MAGA.